Mask of the Rose, the demo is out. I'm super happy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, the Lost Chevalier, and you're welcome to Mask of the Rose, the demo. Let us go. First, let me see the settings. Auto display now. Disable cursor off. Text to size regular, large. Oh, text. Font, mate. Okay, it's okay. Everything is fine. Let's play. Yes. In February 862, with no warning at all, London fell through the surface of the earth. And now we're here. This was meant to be a year of progress and industry, the Great Exposition, trams, and new sewer system. Instead, we found ourselves dwelling in a cave. It's October now. The fires have been put out, the bodies have been buried. They might come back. But the future remains unimaginable. The time before, impossibly distant. Oh, who were you? An arcane academic. I studied esoteric writings, the hierarchies of spirits, the language of angels, the practical powers of creations. I have friends in high places, and I'm familiar with the church ways, whether I agree with it or not. Where is my hedonistic? A dock worker child. My father worked at the docks, unloading ships. My uncle was a sailor. We were on the right side of the law, but the same couldn't always be said for our friends. The dogs are allies with the working class and with criminals. Oh, I only have these two for now? Okay, let's go for the arcane academic. That's me! Down here, your name is whatever you say it is. Often there is no one left to remember who you used to be. Some people hold tight to the names they carried before. Some reinvent themselves completely. I prefer strangers to address me as Intendant, Monseigneur, Madame, Mademoiselle, Miss, Madame, Sir, My Lord, My Lady, Citizen, Comrade, Captain, Lieutenant, Doctor, Professor, Officer, Secretary, Brother, Sister, Reverend, Intendant, Monseigneur. Oh, I don't know. You got me, my lord. Though my friends call me Esok. That suits me. That's me, Esok to my friends, my lord to strangers. That's how I was addressed even before London fell. I'm a different person down here than I was above. Down here, I'm finally able to use the name that I always fit me. I'm a different person down here than I was above. Oh ho ho! Where is my gentleman? Choose the cameo that best represents you. Where is my gentleman? I need someone with a magnificent beard. I will go for this one over here. I guess. Let me see. Yeah, I think I will go for this one. This one is actually cool too. It has a beard. I think I will go for this one. I have long hair, so... Oh, this one looks awesome, actually. Oh, this one looks awesome. This one looks cool. Oh, I don't know. I'm between this one and this one. I will go for this one. That's me. In the Neath, a true ally means everything. When I find people to be close to, I am looking for friendship, attraction rather than romance, romance rather than attraction, both romance and attraction. Yes, indeed. Name and title: My Lord Esok, past an arcane academic, hard desire, passionate romance. I'm happy with this. Right now, I'm meant to be helping with the census, finding out who still lives in my neighborhood. The first census results are due tomorrow. If I turn them in, I get paid. The first money to come my way in nearly 2 months. If I don't, I'm going to disappoint Grease badly. She knew I was in trouble, so she went out of her way to find me work with her own employers. She even gave me a badge to show my affiliation. Badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. The front of the badge looks almost like a constable's badge with the lion and unicorn blazoned on it. The back of the badge has some kind of symbol I don't recognize, hot to the touch. Huh. Interesting. I keep it with the clothes I have from before the fall, and a few odd items I found more recently. Change my outfit. Oh. Hat. Yes. Grand, exotical trim, and very much a creation of the Neath. Wearing this hat when courting always inspired me with additional flirtatious things to say. Looks super good. Face. Good for the complexion. I don't have anything. Lapel. I will have this thing. And torso, can I change it to... Yeah. Looks good. Super good indeed. The grow and the badge say I'm offering my consultant expertise to the ministry. The hat says I don't spend all my hours in the library. Ha! Love it. How do I... It is done. It's done. I click return and we're back. Hello! Ah, I thought you were up here. She glanced at the badge I'm wearing. I suppose you shouldn't be glad you are thinking about the census. I suppose I should be glad you are thinking about the census, even if you didn't get around to leaving the house. Give me a second. I react to the way I react to many things these days. I react to that the way I react to many things these days. I turn it into a joke. I dare to name the frightening things out there. I lie. I turn it into a joke. I thought I'd wait for a change in the weather. A lovely snow, perhaps? There is no sunshine down here. There are no yellow pea soups, frogs. There is no rain, except occasionally a fine mist. Londoners lost half our topics of conversation when we fell. Come tomorrow evening, we need to have at least a few census forms filled out. Or I'm going to be the one explaining to Mr. Pages. And if that happens, I am not going to help you with your employment prospect again. Grease works for the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. It seems to agree with her. She wears trousers to work and comes home at all hours. It's very important to her being taken seriously by these employers. The next thing I do is characteristics too. Compliment her, reassert control, be open and build trust, rely on dark humor. Compliment her. Huh. You're doing great, honey. I wouldn't worry. You say the ministry are working in a reclaiming solicitor's office. They can only compare you a bunch of legal clerks. You must look a model of efficiency. These employers are unusual. She says she's never seen their faces. I think they have met a lot of unusual people. What do you think of the question? I have not read the questions yet. I have only glanced at the sheets of paper. They're written in the most peculiar spiked handwriting, and there are punctures in the paper in random spots. Tease her as though I think that's her handwriting. Jokingly defend my reading abilities. Admit I haven't read them. Tease her. Is that your handwriting, Grease? What an extraordinary style! My governess used to say that if penmanship ought to be bold, free, and elegant, I do only go as far as lesson 1. But that is not a sample of my own work. My employers brought out the list themselves. The minister is short of clerks. Here, try the questions on me. Say you have just knocked at the door, and I have come to answer it. Yes, what do you want? Introduce myself as an agent of the ministry, showing my badge. Good evening. On behalf of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting, I have a few questions. Oh, how lovely. I am so grateful these ministers are looking after us. Straightforward accept, sarcastic accept, flirtation riff on how excellent the ministry is. Ah. The ministry is extraordinary, now you mention it. All its servants are uncommonly clever and attractive. You have not met some of my colleagues. Jokingly speculated. You say the masters wear robes and hoods, and that you haven't seen their faces. Perhaps they are too radiantly beautiful for anyone to look at. I have wondered, they are magnetic in a way. How many people live in this establishment? Establishmentations is not a well-formed word. It has two suffixes, both Latinate. Thank you, Professor. If you like, you can translate into questions that are more likely to be understood. Right. How many people live in this establishment? 4. The landlady, Miss Horita Chapman, a young man named Archibald Rain, myself, and a 4th character, very disruptable. Joke that she's long as she intends suggests that it might not be a picture of respectability herself. Laugh. I laugh a real laugh. I'm sure our neighbor's household are very well regulated. Read out the next question. Is anyone in this establishment ennomorificated or impassionated? What does this even mean? What does this even mean? They're asking if anyone here is in love. Just ask that. Is anyone here in love? No. Are you sure? Tease her. I will tease her. If you wanted to discover romantic inclination, Chris, there are easier ways. You didn't have to ask me to survey all our neighbors on the topic. No. No? She doesn't step towards me, but I know she's about to. She's half a step away from kissing me. Haha. And this is the moment that Archie chose to walk into the room. God damn it! Get out of here! Get out of here! No, no, get out! Get the freak out! No! No, 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 get out! Get out, Archie! Get out! Get out! Get out of my room! Get out of this! I was about to get smooch! Archie! Archie's a medical student. He hadn't finished his training before the fall, but he has plenty of work now. I wonder where you were. Greetings flirtatiously. Welcome, Archie. Ask Archie what he needs. Welcome, Archie, warmly. Ah, the more company, the merrier. I should host a regular soiree. Yes, call it morning call. Just a bit mistimed. Out I went this morning to visit a patient, and what I found is pasted up on the wall. He holds up a broadsheet. There is a new decree from the Ministry of Cartography and Chirography that all maps and atlas are they be surrendered or put on fire. Oh yeah, I know that of Fallen London. They actually don't have maps or street signs. It's all a mystery. It's your folk making this rule, Grease. I sure Archie that Grease can doubly explain. Suggest Archie to leave the topic alone. Leave it be, Archie. Grease knows what she's doing. Oh, I? No Londoners really know what she's about at the moment. But there is still such things as common sense. Will be asking your Mr. Pages about these maps? Mr. Pages expects some loyalty from his people. None of us knows what is safe down here in the Neath. Yeah, we just got here. Most likely there are reasons you can't imagine. Yeah, words and all of that have power. Esok, please do collect at least a few census forms by tomorrow. At the end of the day, I will find you and we can take them to Mr. Pages together. She gives me a long look before she goes. Okay. Archie. Hello, Archie. Why did you came in this moment? Why did you come to my room? In this precise moment. You could have come any other time. Like, I don't know, when she went away. Huh? Can you explain me? Well, next time I will not come without knocking. Yeah. I will come a few times so when the two of you can separate. Ask whether he might be jealous, say he thinks she doesn't like me and I'm excited. Resist polite and non-interest, laugh at his teasings but offer no explanations. Say I think she does like me and I'm excited. Happily, I think we share the same feeling. Good luck to you. I'll welcome a wee bit of good news down here. If you take up with her, have a care though, will ya? She might have the look of being fierce, but if she was to choose someone and then her heart was to be broken, might be disappointment or it might be meeting with a thing she couldn't plan. But she'd be sadder than a hanged cat. Said I will think about it. Turn the subject to sensible. I have him here. I will think about it. I will not break her heart. I will think about it. Well, that's enough meddling for me. How are you feeling? How are you feeling in the case of pressing you too much? Is the cave oppressing you too much? Worse than Greece, I wouldn't lie. Seeing there is no road out of here. Food from the masters is a weird reprieve, but when you think of all else that might kill us below, scurvy and the like. A great hulking rock fell on my house in South Park. Did the roof in and near they kill the whole household. But I do best be quiet, like to give you nightmares too, and I'm fairly out of London Avenue to help me with the sleep. Okay, ask him a census question. Greece has me gathering census pages for the mystery. Greece told me it was such a thing. Okay, so Archibald Ruiz. Okay, let us go for Mothers of the Heart. Filtration ask about his romantic commitments. Put a query, making it clear this is for the census. The census asks whether you are in love. Down here? Nah. What about before the meiotic cataclysm? There was a lass back home, and what did me mother do but promise me to her? Yeah, damn it, you speak weird. Suggests he might prefer a more local alternative. Read the situation in the most generous light. Keep my opinions to myself. Read the situation in the most generous light. There must be a great deal of trust and affection in your family, if you're able to rely on each other so much. Well, there is not many people where I come from, so it serves not to make enemies of any of them. Anything else you need to reform? Ask him a census question. Yeah, employment. Rely on what I already know, use my knowledge of him to bring up the topic, ask literally what Archie does for money, ask making it clear this is for the census. This one. What should I put on the census as your overall employment? I did sell a couple of my old atlases just today. Censored maps sell for a good price if you know the right buyer. Ferret vermin eradication takes in more than just rats. Perfect! Ferrets the local menace eradicated, and there is significant need to the service lately. New location discovered. Cool. That is everything I need. Sleep well then. Well, I will ya. 231 days since the fall. Season of confessions. Continue. The newspapers aren't what they used to be, but someone is still printing broadsheets these days. The headlines today read: Sellers of Coster wine suck from before the fall, good price paid. Yeah, we are going to have a mushroom wine. It's not the best that it is, but it's okay. Recall the past. Huh. What did that mean? Whoa! I'm always reliving London last night on the surface, when it was stole by Bath, and there is the spires of the bazaar. I try to put it out of my head, but it's still there. The dining of the sun in 3 in the afternoon, the sky turning the color of rust, the horrible banks and the cloud of dust from the direction of Westminster, the tolling of the bells, the horsemen who rode down the street, liberating the garb of the palace, shouting, "In Her Majesty's name, go indoors!" And then the sky was full of bats, more bats than Egypt had locust, wheeling, shrieking, defecating. People went indoors if they know the criers, those that had no house crawling into the churches and under the bridges. Even now I don't understand. Why the Parliament collapsed, how Her Majesty knew to send criers, that bats could behave in so strange way. How Her Majesty knew to send criers. The palace has been shuttered since that day. The royal family do not emerge. Surely, if they had known this was coming, they would have departed London. It was only the city that fell. The rest of England, we assume, remains above. Huh. I reckon it's a tornado. I have heard of somewhat similar in the Welsh Hills back in 1760. Night light in the sky and a noise like a thunderclap. That's no tornado, love. It's a plague of Egypt. I let them talk. I interview before they know one another. I send a pleading look at Greece. Greece plays saving for this. Argument don't happen in front of Greece unless she chose to let them. The Grace thing seems like a supernatural visitation at the time, and there are perfectly scientific explanations for that. So it was too problems with the pipes, may I? My mother always say it was a judgment on London. My mother always say it was a judgment on London. Then the ground shook again, and the pipes rattled on the wall. I believe we can blame Mr. Balsagate excavations, digging about under London, causing a seismic disturbance. And what did he find doing there but a cave of 3 million bats? Is that what you reckon? There are stranger things beneath London. That was the beginning of it. But we were down there for hours and hours. The sky darkened and it didn't return to normal. Once, around midnight, Grace went upstairs and opened the door to the street, but she came right back down again. She said the cobbles were galloping about. It wasn't safe to walk outside. After that first beat, the memories collide and get confused. I have trouble keeping track of which came first and which came later, and whether I'm imagining something. I have spent a lot of days like this, thinking back, trying to piece together the bits of the puzzle. As if I could realize something that will make sense of it all. That is amazing. I don't think we're gonna make sense of this all. London fell, probably sold by the Queen. I don't have anything in the face, no. I'm okay, I'm okay. Okay, outdoors. Okay, where should I go? This is my lodgings. Bordigan's house, yes. St. Albans Proto-Martyr. Or Ferret's shop. Look at this beautiful map of fallen London. Here is the bazaar though. That place is... it's dangerous. St. Albans Proto-Martyr. Saint Alban was the first English martyr. A point of considerable pride to the local vicar. It's the church of our parish. Collect sensory information for the vicar. Please tell me, is the vicar from fallen London? Saint Albans Proto-Martyr. This is the closest church to Horatius. I have been a freaking parishioner. Now, I have come occasionally, but not often enough to be known. I've never darkened its door before. No, I have come occasionally. Oh, hello there. I see the masters are meddling with affairs of the church. I'm an agent of the ministry. You must allow me to present myself. Esog, agent of the ministry, and accounting and recounting. As for the theological explanation of recent events, draw this conversation to an end. Do you have any kind of... how do you reconcile the fall with the teachings of the church? You know, don't you, where we are? This is hell, the dolorous city. Perhaps we have all died and come to judgment together. But those people with the yellow eyes, they are devils, fallen creatures who have come to tempt us. Suggest that temptation is not always bad. Scoff at his provincial naivety. Offer some insight from past readings. Temptation is not always bad. Oh, did one of them offer you something you wanted? Not all temptations are evil. You joke, but it was not amusing at the time, I assure you. One of them walked into my church yesterday and as plain as a pike shaft and asked me for my soul. Yeah, they tend to do that. Just in those words too, like Mephistopheles offering a bargain to Faust. I told her where to go. Oh yes, it was a female devil. They make them male and female, or in the semblance thereof. But she just smiled and said she planned to be back on another occasion. Yeah, I know. Asked whether she left a calling card. Tried to reassure him. Laugh. I think I will laugh. What the fuck was that? Something has landed on the roof. Yeah, no shit. It looks down at us through the gaping hole above. Its eyes are glittering. That. Make light of this obvious danger, points out that it's far, far too large to be a bat. Calmly asks whether it visits often. Does it come often? Is that thing a frequent visitor? Not precisely frequent. It's landed there a few times before, especially when the chore is practicing. Suggest it's drawn to the music, say nothing until it goes away. Hold my breath. Maybe it's drawn to the music. Perhaps it's musically inclined. Just as well the opera has been suspended in that case. It might have carried off half of society by now. I'm recording, aren't I? And is everything correctly? Yeah, everything's correctly. Perfect. Huh. Jesus! The thing up there is gone. The Tenterground Synagogue is better conditioned than our little church. I have wondered whether that signifies the direction of divine approval. Authentic ground synagogue, an old synagogue, and one of that weathered the fall very well. Okay. Do you know where the devils congregate? Do you know where the devils are found around here? I know where the devils congregate, but far, far be it from me ever to direct the unwary to their doorstep. Forgive me, but if you are curious, or worse, the merest contact with them could have the most severe and detrimental effect. I have actually like a lover demon, but I'm really careful to not pledge my soul to her. Never! Assure me that I'm safe to confide in. Appeal to the expectations of the equation as it stands. I'm safe. I will never... You can trust me. I trust to warn people away from the place. I dare see you speak to many members of this parish who will never darken my door. He writes down an address. The trick will be finding the street. Devil's Townhouse. They say this place is inhabited by demons, or alternatively, people with yellow eyes and a warm handshake. Yeah, I will be careful. I should finish preparing my sermon. It was a good of you stopping in. Lord see you safely home again. Wait! I can just manage one more errand today before supper. Oh! Oh, I see. Damn it, I should have asked him the questions. I want to be in the good eyes of Greece. Well, head outside then. The devil, the thing, I can go again to the church or the ferret shop. I think I will go to the devil townhouse. Go during receiving hours to fill out the census. Hello! The Devil's Townhouse is in a finer area of town than Miss Champman lodgings. The passers-by glance at my academic gown, but no one says anything. I find their door at last. The knocker is made of brass, unreasonably warm brass, and it is shaped like the head of a goat. The attendant is human enough, but she refused to answer any questions. I wait in a very old-fashioned wooden chair. I keep feeling that the armrests are nipping at my wrist. I am invited inside at last. Hello! I'm your gentleman, Esok. How are you doing? Oh, demons galore. A member of the constabulary. We do not require your assistance. Milton will see you out. Your eye for details has failed you, Virginia. Our visitant wears the badge of the Minister of Accounting and Recounting. I collect this is some official errand. Introduce myself as an agent of the ministry. You must permit me to make myself known to you. Esok, agent of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. They both fall extremely still. I'm not sure that they breathe. Present as a story were my own idea, simply state that I have questions. Simply state I have questions. I had a few inquiries I wish to make. Not much given to explanation, are you? We are in the middle of a delicate matter. Come now, Virginia. Wouldn't you find it entertaining to learn that the masters are asking? I admit to significant curiosity. Just what does the ministry hope to learn about you and me that it doesn't already know? Then ask and be prompt, Esok. And if this proves a waste of our time, Milton, you will owe me your good hunting horn. Just a question for the notebook. Well, Mothers of the Heart. Filtratiously ask about her affairs of the heart. Ask, making it clear this is for the census. The census asks me to record whether you are in love or married. So that's it? I have no romantic involvements that you need to report to your employers. Just a question for the notebook. Name. Virginia is a fine name. Fashionable. One tries to accommodate to local culture. That is, one tries until it becomes too much bother. Our friends implies that the name does not distinguish you from the common or garden variety Virginia. It might benefit from a poetic epithet. Amber-eyed Virginia, for instance. London poets have a taste for that kind of thing. Brass-shod Virginia. You must ensure that it scans. Do not write that down. Virginia of the Cloven Hoof? Definitely not. Pity. I have another question though. Household organization. That's making it clear for the census. I am supposed to write down in the census who else live in your household. I have a maidservant, a housekeeper, and 3 dorms. Footman. Yes, footman. Milton's house is similar. I reside alone. You have servants. I do, several. I had assumed that they would not be counted as persons. Well, I'll be damned, you are evil. You must trust me on this sort of thing, Virginia. I have had more time to learn London's customs. Yeah, and you frequently entertain overnight visitors. Never for very long. Employment. As for the of employer, ask making it clear this is for the census. The census has a spot for me to write down what you do. I am establishing local connections between my country and this place. You mean the Irish Republic? So you are an ambassador to London? An ambassador? We are not on such equal terms. Oh, I'll be damned. Just a question for... Oh, I want to ask about the government of hell. There is going to be a war between us and you? How is hell governed then? Is there a prince, as we are told? Decisively there is not. And on that she walks out of the room. A bit of a sore spot there, you weren't to know. Never mind. If you come back another time, perhaps she will receive you again. If you do, however, I recommend avoiding any mention of bells or violets. Okay, let us start with something. Milton. Are you in love, by any chance? Making it clear for the census. For the census, I might also record your romantic involvements. Ah, an interesting question. Several persons have believed themselves to be romantically attached to me. Will that do? No one speaks for a moment. Milton tells a story about a baker who has started selling cricket floor cakes nearby. Applaud the storytelling skill. Laugh because it's the only thing to do. Just a question from my notebook. Flitress you received of the tale. Oh! I do find you fascinating. It's mutual, I'm sure. Just a question from my notebook. Okay. Your name. Ask extraneously about his full name. Ask making it clear it be for the census. The census form requests your full name. Milton is my most recent name. I have had others, but this suits the current occasion. Just a question for the book. Employment. If it says a work here, ask making it clear this is for the Ascension. Ask whether it's true that people here collect souls. That will be another moment. I shall also record your employment information for the census. I am a gentleman of leisure, though I have devoted myself to the cultivation of the arts. Ask whether it's true the people here collect souls. Is it true that you... I have heard rumors that you ask people for their souls. Me? All of you? That you go around asking for souls? I'm more interested in unpublished manuscripts, poetry, that sort of thing. So you're a publisher? Dear me, no. All the same, I need to know about your business. Use my authority to bully Milton. Joke. I'm a funny child. If we proceed by a process of elimination, I fear this might be a time-consuming exercise. Milton hesitates. Don't be too hastily to be in the confidence of hell. Ask about the purpose of this building. It's beautiful, by the way. I love your windows over there. Oh no, those are souls! I recognize souls when I saw them. Oh no. What sort of business is typical down here? Contracts are written and signed. As for the work in the spirit, work is of a spiritual nature. Is your work spiritual in nature? Yes, decisively yes, but we are not evangelistically inclined. All the same, I need to know about your business. To repay frankness somehow in the future. Now, leave questions in hands. I hold a silence. Sometimes that does more than any request. You haven't earned our trust. Your stylish attire is beautiful. I must compliment you on your tailor. I don't believe I have seen the like in London. I can see that your own taste avant-garde. Tell me, did you cultivate your hat yourself? No, I just happened to find it. If I can tell devil from my readings, I'm a professor. Stories tell of a city where people willingly allow themselves to be immolated, because the person burned always returned. A month later, the victim will walk back into town, healthier and happier than ever. But it was a trick. The person who came back was not a citizen who had burned, but a devil in disguise. We are not finger kings. At least, I think that was what he said. A moment later, the name is gone. Draw this conversation to an end. I shall not trespass any longer on your hospitality. I look forward to your next visit, my friend. I wish to know more about you and your friends. I'm my lord for you. It's time to go home. I have 3. Greece is waiting for me. I did 3. Whether census form you have already, it's time to take them to Mr. Page's. Say that and Remy, ask if I could have supper instead. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I sincerely hope that's true. Come with me. Once I have shown you how to reach the ministry, you can come back on your own and turn in others. Greece has me gather my papers. With luck, Mr. Pages will decide to keep you on. With that, she leads me outside and along down a side street that is no longer named. Like every single street of London. The way is serpentine through streets that do not seem to lead towards the spires at the center of the city. But each time I look up, it is closer, the spired building on the horizon. Finally, we find ourselves standing in the shadow under its walls. Before us is a low door that once, I think, belonged to a solicitor's office. Grease takes out a key made of something other than metal and unlocks the door. Okay. Mind the pile of papers, I have already saw them 3 times. What the hell is that? That looks like brass from hell. Mr. Pages is very particular about the ordering of documents. Yeah, I like him a lot. Now, where has he gone? Usually he's here by this time of day. I like to Mr. Irons, and I'm favored with Mr. Wines. Oh, Mr. Pages! Oh, look at you. You are so... Hello! And there you are, sir. We were just coming to bring you the census documents. A first statement of many, I'm sure. Mr. Pages, may I present Esog? Esog, this is Mr. Pages. The whole Ministry of Accounting and Recounting is under Mr. Pages' direction. Acknowledge Rujo, express gratitude for the job. Stand well back and make no sudden moves. Acknowledge the introduction. How do you do? Fortilos, with a soupon of martilans. Mr. Pages has surprisingly high voice for someone so large. Oh, high voice. I beg your pardon? Mr. Pages has been interviewing a Frenchman unhappily stranded on our shores before the fall. You can imagine how that might affect both mind and vocabulary. Agree that must have been challenging for Mr. Pages. Wonder whether it was challenging from the Frenchman. Request a translation, not sagely. Right, of course. What have you brought us? I liked him to make actually a voice that is more deep, I don't know why. Hand over a finished census page of Artie, Milton, or Virginia. About Archie. Here you go. Ah, most satisfactory. There are secrets here. He gives me 2 shiny pennies for my trouble. I turn one over and it has a portrait of the back of someone who is certainly not the queen. The face on the back of the coin stares at me until the hair prickles on my neck. It reminds me of a dead own, and I don't want to remember. And my breath hitches and slows and resumes. I'm holding 2 pennies now. We did not expect much for Archie. Under Greece, having already revealed that he is likeness character. What else is there? A page of Milton. Pages take my penny payment from a jar, bringing my stash up the tree. There are other coins in there, and a few things that aren't even coins. Buttons, pearls, probably false, a horse head carved from ivory or bone. Oh, I think it was the 3rd city. The pearls are obviously pearls that tell you the time of day. The buttons, I don't know. We are grateful for your assistance. This one is not a citizen of London. He will come from points west. Grease reached for the pages, frowning. It should be filled among honey and roses. Do you have anything more? Virginia? Mr. Pages takes the census page eagerly and spends some time scanning it. There is something it's looking for, something it keeps looking for, that it cannot find. Pages goes through the pages of this census with growing interest, studying some pages closely. Then, suddenly, it stops and throws the sheaf on its desk. She is known to us. She is not from the 5th city at all, nor even the 1st. Grease reached for the pages, frowning. The descendants of Caduceus are flow-consistent. Not all of their tales are worthy to tell. Ask Mr. Pages a few questions of my own. Maps and cartography. What is happening with that? Ask about the strange buildings in the center of London. Ask why maps need to be outloaded. That one. Why aren't we allowed to have maps and atlases anymore? We need them more than ever. London isn't arranged where it used to be. I believe the ministry intends to resurvey the territory. In the meantime, it wouldn't do, to have people using fallacious maps. The territory of the Neath is anti-disfossicated towards Lion Steel. Not silently. Ask about strange building in the center of London. What are the spires? What is the building looming over us? It has never been here before London fell. Do you mean the bazaar? Consider it a new center of exchangery. Ask how the bazaar was built so fast. How does a building of this size materialize overnight? Or has it been already and London fell on top of it? The bazaar has been here since before the first city. London is the fifth city. Yes, that means that the fourth city is the one of the horses, because that is one of the Khan. The third city, I believe it was Troy. The second city was one of Babylon. The first one, I have no idea. What's the first one? No, the first one is the one where the... No. The first city was the one of Babylon, I believe. Ur, maybe. Damn it, I'm taking my Fallen London knowledge to this. Grease accompanies me out again when it's time to go. As we make our back to Horiat's, she asks me what I think of Mr. Pages. Good fellow. I would say that. She tries to make it sound like an idly curious question. Make light of Page's tailored challenge. Say I'm glad the minister has someone like her to advise. Thank her for arranging this post. I'm glad the minister. I say how it's a good thing the minister has someone like her to advise them. That pleases her. She had an uncle who was in parliament before the fall, and she always thought she could do at least as well as he did, given a chance. Well, I think that's Mr. Pages going over there. Maybe Mr. Wine. So now, at least, she has coped for her ideas of governments, at least in a small way. The rest of the way, there goes again, Mr. Pages, maybe Mr. Sachs, who knows? The rest of the way home, she spends telling anecdotes about her uncle's political career and a number of highly placed individuals in the old government. Before we go back inside the house, she reminds me, we have many more people in the neighborhood to survey for the census. You know how it's done now, so you can collect them and take them to Mr. Pages yourself. I have other duties and I may not always be there, but Pages is, well, I am certain you won't be... Mr. Irons is coming through. I am certain you won't be harmed if you visit the ministry on your own. Make a scene about Grease's feelings for Pages. What? No! Asks naturally what is Grease has feeling for Pages. Silently concludes she has an interest in Pages. There is something in the tone of her voice. It's getting late, so I'm heading back home. Come on, that lot of bats can't take the lady for me. Archie's already on the table when I arrive. When he sees me come in, he gives a guilty start and scoops some of his stew back into the tureen. Took more than I had the right to, but I do not eat any yet. Apologies. Tell him not to worry about it. Say nothing, but don't have any stew. Shrug and take a bite. Not to worry about it. Don't worry. I was lost in my talks, forgot. There was a lass who asked me to come around and look at her brother, a Jewish family. They usually go to their own doctor, but he's out on service, or ran away, or something of that ilk. Their old synagogue was destroyed in the fall, so they moved to the Tenter Grounds Synagogue. Rachel and David Landau. David has a stomach complaint, chronic. Perhaps they have trouble cooking anything palatable. It isn't easy these days with what we have. The sister's a beauty. She will leave the room while I saw to her brother. Wait! Ask what Rachel was doing. Ask what Davis was doing. Keep quiet. What were you doing? Is that unusual? What was she doing? Keep him watching me while I work, making notes in her wee-book. Felt as if it was making marking on my bedside manners. And the brother? Will he leave? Oh, aye. For a bit I thought it might be serious. But what he needed is his stomach settled. Just a question from my notebook. Tell unnerving story about meeting Greece employer. Just a question from my notebook. Mothers of the heart. Whether Huria has any suitors when she was younger. Ask making clear is for the census. What should I write down about the mothers of the heart? Were you in love when you were younger? The butcher at the corner asked me a few times to be his wife. My mother would say we thought to have a look at him and see if he was good for you. I couldn't say I was tempted. He had 7 children for his married before. I believe he was more attracted to the extra rooms in my house than to me. Just a question from my notebook. Employment. Making clear is for the census. The census also wants me to write down anything you are doing other than running the household. The house has been my business a long time ago. My father left it to me. He broke it so I do have a good place to live. He didn't want to leave it up to whatever I do find husband. Okay, that's the end of the supper. Horatia stands and begins potting the dishes away. "232 days since the fall. Season of confessions. Can I continue still? How much more is there? Despite everything, there are still broadsheets painted. Archibald 1, and the headline reads, Renowned scientists pronounce recent event result of volcanic activity, sun built in ash. No, we are in the freaking cave. How much time do we still have to go? How much time have I been recording? Because I think it was already an hour. Yep, an hour has passed. Theoretically, the demo should last an hour. I might cut this in half, but let us go recall the past. What else can we recall? For the time where London was taken by bats. I remember the day of the fall in fragments. There are a few moments that I'm always drawing back to, memories of that stand for everything else that happened. There are things I sometimes remember from that night that cannot have happened. Impossible thing. If I concern, I can recall. If I concentrate, I can recall. Constable Harhit checked us that night. I think Ridley says something about her family name. I glimpsed something in a bit of mirror. Oh, the snakes that live in mirrors. I remember looking into a bit of mirror glass and seeing a Chinese woman, at least I think she might have been Chinese, gazing back at me. She was sitting in a palace with flood water rising around her, and the water was the color of milk. She looked frightened when she saw me, and then she was gone. All that, maybe it was a dream, maybe I dozed off, in the middle of that long night, but it doesn't feel like a dream. I can still see the embroiderment of her jacket, the blue-black ink stains on her fingers where she had been writing. She was of the previous city that fell? Huh. Head outside. I can still go to places. Damn. This is Mr. Page's the bazaar. Let's go first shop. Hello! Rats, moles, and spiders, destruction and disposal. Hello! Good morning! Fur doesn't look straight at my back, but it's been noticed all the same. Everything's alright and tidy here, regular inspections and all that. We pay the constables their due. Introduce myself as an agent of the ministry. Permitted to introduce myself, Eso, agent of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. Some people do conduct themselves in extraordinary ways. Pleasure to meet you. Ask Ferret about the census question. Hello, I need your name. Ask made it clear is for the census. What should I put on the census as your full name? Ferret's the only name I got by. And no one saw fit to tell me if it was a forename or a surname. Might come down to me from a noble house for all I know. Courtesy of my great-grandsire and his wife, Lord and Lady Stout Whistle. Ask another question. Mothers of the Heart. Ask using the exact wording of the original census. Ask making it clear is for the census. What should I put down about romantic attachments for the census, that is? Strange thing, but I don't fancy sharing those particulars with your masters. It's my shy and delicate nature. Might put me to the blush if those things was to come known. Another questions. Household organization? Ask making it clear is for the census. There is a spot in the census where I write down whether you live alone. Ah, what is it to them? For all you know, I might keep a dormitory full of vermin-killing apprentices. Like my master did with me, 4.5 years. Took me out of the chimney sweeping trade and put me at rats instead. Ask another question. Employment. Make it clear for the census. I meant to write down what your employment is, though I can't see that you catch rats. The money's in rats and moles and spiders, like it says on the sign. Which, now I notice, you can't see. The spiders is new. Used to be most people was happy to hit them with a slipper and be done with it. Yeah, but the freaking spiders are freaking huge, I know. I need to insist, Mothers of the Heart. Ask using the exact wording of the original census quest. What should I put in romantic attachment for the census, that is? Fun to sharing those particulars in my nature. Okay. Let Ferret draw the conversation. I should be going about my business. Okay, so that's time. That was all. Okay, let's go outside. It's the afternoon! The synagogue. We had never met before, but I recognize these people anyway from Archie's description. They have to be Lando's, the brother and sister pair. He's been treating David's stomach pains. Good afternoon, lady and gentlemen. Wait here, Rachel. I will speak with this person. I won't take long. Good afternoon. Introduce myself as a friend of Archie. Allow me to introduce myself, Eso. I have the advantage, I'm afraid. I know of you through a friend of mine, the young Dr. Archibald Wraith. He and I reside at the same lodging house. I'm a David's sister, Rachel Simcha Lando. She adds the first name and watches me significantly, as though I am supposed to have heard of her. I am Rachel's brother, David Lando. When he says this, his voice takes on a faintest trace of an accent, though he otherwise speaks entirely like an Englishman. Did Dr. Reid send you to us with some sort of message? I suppose I shouldn't call him doctor, as he didn't qualify. He will have known to find us here, but I can't imagine what message that will be. We have paid his fees. No, I'm here on my own business, but he told me you might be here. What can we do for you? I'm working for the Ministry of the Census. The Ministry of Accounting and Recounting has asked me to work on the census. I will answer your questions, Esok, if you answer mine. Call it character research. And you have in particular dreams down here? Talk up the lurid misery of my mentor that Archie has parents which just complain. Ask what she means are character research. In truth, my nightmares have become so extreme that I barely dare to sleep. When I close my eyes, I sense a dreadful malevolent presence. Ah! I ask for your feelings, not for a recitation of your favorite Christmas ghost story. Rachel, it was only the answer to a question. Trust me, I interrupt just before we reach the dreadful clanking on the ominous chains. Or perhaps the lightless stare of serpent eyes. Yeah, those are actually common dreams here. I have forgot until now, but I have dreams of a snake that watches me in my sleep, while all my limbs were heavily and too paralyzed to move. And the other one is the freaking dog. The dog of the queen. It's a freaking chihuahua, dude. Chihuahua that in my dreams became a freaking monster. I fucked up against him. It was an awesome fight. I try to remember what it means, but the dog is gone again. Go ahead with your questions, Esok. Okay. Mothers of the Heart. Ask using the exact wording of the original census question. Ask making it clear this is for the census. Let's go for that one. For the census, what is your romantic status? Married, betrothed, and you love? No, at least, that isn't what I do call it. Just as well, too, in the times before, you would never have darkened the door of such person. Before you cast me as the intolerant brother, Esok, you should know what we're speaking of. Milton is a yellow-eyed, flash-dressed, hot-handed creature at least 2 decades too old for my sister. Milton? You're speaking of the... Hint for more information about Rachel's unsuitable friend. Milton is the demon. Okay, I make another question though. Household organization. Ask making it clear for the census. For the census, who live in your household? Our home contains myself, my brother, and our housekeeper. It isn't grand establishment. We had a shoeless housekeeper for many years, but she passed away, and Phoebe has lost her place with a neighbor of ours. For a moment, no one speaks. Rachel brings up a legend, common amongst the servant classes, that the Neath contains many other fallen cities. It does, but they are in ruins. We are basically above it. They say if you travel far enough through the cave, you will find the ruins of Kitess. And if you've walked 3 times the circumference of the cave, counterclockwise, you will come to the palace of the Queen of Sheba. No one has discovered even one edge of the cave yet. She's not meant to be easy to find. Briefly, treasures received to her tale. You intrigue me. She glances at him and looks mildly embarrassed. Just another question. Not present. Oh. Employment? Ask making it clear for the census. For the census, what is your employment, if any? I write novels. They are published 1 chapter at a time in the Lady of London magazine. I was in the midst of one when the fall happened. My publisher instead that I continue the story despite all. Insisted. Burger condemned Rachel rascally publisher. No. Ask what the story is about. Ask about her inspiration to become a novelist. What's the story about? What are you writing about? If you take the Lily of London, Essex, you might have the pleasure of reading my next chapter yourself. Though I confess I am at a standstill as to what it will contain. My heroine was meant to be set off for Paris, and there is no to be reunited with her lost beloved. But as the fall has transpired in fiction as well as in fact, I must resign myself that the counter ship is ruined. Offer my condolences. What a misfortune. Thanks, Eso. Ask about her inspiration to become a novelist. Just a question from the book. David Landau, tell me. The matter of the heart. For the census, what is your romantic status? Married, betrothed, in love? Oh, not recently. I was in love once, or so I imagine. Charlotte, she and David had an understanding. She converted, in any case. Becoming a Christian suit her social aspirations. Rachel. Yes. I take leave to dislike your unworthy suitors as heartily as you dislike mine. Milton smoked rose-scented cigarettes. I hardly think he and Charlotte are comparable. Laugh at the dispute. Ask whether David has any romantic commitments currently. Do you have any romantic commitments now? He doesn't have any commitments. In fact, I would go as far as to say he is utterly without prospects. He stays at home and reads. I haven't been well. He wants me off splinterhood, but he's headed very much in that direction himself. It isn't the same thing at all. I agree, it isn't. I have my work to support myself. But what's become of your funds since the fall? You will have to marry if you don't mean to end your days in a pauper, brother. David looks too irritated to reply. Say nothing for a moment. We are expected elsewhere. I'm not feeling well enough for this. Goodbye then. By now, Horatia will be wondering where I am. Well, I'll be damned. It's good one of you is here to supper. Neither Archie nor Grease has made an appearance today. Good evening. I'm looking for Mr. Reed. Is he here? Archie? He's upstairs. Harhit turned up as the constable of these streets right around the time London fell. I didn't see him around here before that, but he's watched over the neighborhood since. Listen. Yes? I know all the old maps have been outlawed. But if you come for his atlas, do you think you could leave it with him? It gives him a lot of comfort, remembering all those little villages in Scotland where his family used to live. But for his sensitive approach to his duties, let Harkit go get on with it. This is probably minister business. Put in a good word for Archie's map collection. Yes, leave Archie his maps. He's not doing any harm with them. That isn't why I'm here. I can keep chatting over the matter. Oh, it is not. It is to do with his doctoring? I hope no one's too ill. I know Archie worries trying to be a physician work when he didn't finish his training. Does he often treat people? Discover Karacha for answering that. Let her talk. All sorts. Ah, damn it, not that. We have people showing up here at every time of day or night. Not that there is much disconnection now between the two. And I will say, for all he talks about not being trained, he's at his happiest when he's seen to someone. So calm and gentle, especially with the children. Very admirable. Have you ever known Archie to make mistakes, prescribe the wrong dosage? Throw that on Archie, admit I wouldn't know, say no. No. No, Archie wouldn't. Certainly not. Of course, Archie does choose this moment to come down the stairs. Of course, Archie. Harhit, I hope you're well. I'm sorry, Archibald. I'm here in the line of duty. It's about David Londo. Wait, let me. Did something happen to him? Something happened to him. I only saw him today. Shortly after your visit, he died by poisoning. Oh, damn. Died? The poor man! React with shock. Or don't react. Damn. What? But I saw him recently. I'm sorry to have to bring you this news. Is Rachel alright? Is there anyone with her that protect the house? The landlord said you were the last person to speak with David. That the fatal dose must have come from you. I don't understand. I'm here to arrest you for murder. No! Wait a moment, perhaps Mr. Lando own relations took against Archie Manor and they are blaming him for what he didn't do. My manner? Your way of speaking is particular, love. Sometimes people leap on a conclusion for a wrong reason. I knew it was your time till Summit went away. There is too many folks ill, and I can't cure the whole town. Can I cure the whole town? Ask where Harshit is taking Archie. Are you taking it to the freaking stalagmite? Where are you taking Archie? Newgate prison, yes, was destroyed in the fall. For the time being, prisoners are held in the U and the HMS Ungulate. Oh no, Newgate prison still no. Sounds like a very insalubrious environment. Cold, damp, infested with vermin. Breathing the vapors of the Thames. It might not be good for the health of the prisoners. You are not talking your way out that way. No, I mean, if you die in mine, before we set out, I'd like to collect a few doses of this and that. Things that might help to settle bad lungs and prolonged coughs. You are asking whether, before we go, you can be allowed to rearrange your collection of drugs? And bring some of those drugs with you? That ain't quite how I have phrased it. When you stand accused of murdering a man through the use of potent toxins. Oh. For the sake of your future guards and cellmate, I think I must refuse. Ask if Rachel is alright. How's Rachel doing? Does she have anyone with her? I can go. There is her housekeeper, Phoebe, and some friends from her community. They are preparing the body for burial. It can't be left unburied very long. He will wake up. People don't die here. We just can't. Ask where David's being buried. Where are they burying him? They meant to take him to Shewish graveyard at the Balls Pond. Rachel said there might be a dispute with their Spanish relatives, and their mother was buried somewhere else. But she did not think it would change the outcome. Let Archie go. God damn it. Horatia, I will be back as soon as I can. Don't let out my room to anyone else. Damn, next time on Masks of the Rose. If you want to see the surface again, tell me the truth. What is in the bottle? What bottle? I don't know what is it. What it is, I only know what it does. And you have no need to lie. I know I'm now seeing the surface again. Oh, what else? Archie's books. Help me burn them before they give Harjeet the wrong idea. What books? Huh! There is a true story here, and thousands of false ones. After Archie and Grease met at Horaida's bloody house, Archie's love for Grease was matched only by Grease's dislike for Archie. Archie made a passionate offer of marriage. Grease gave her refusal in blunt terms. Desperate to forget, Archie turned to drink. Meanwhile, Grease... Oh, compelling. But for next time. More heartcomblance is required. Huh! My own people won't permit disturbing the gravesite. But you, I know you will help me. For your friend's sake, even if you don't care about David. My companion is good with a shovel. Oh, the cemetery, everybody's alive in here actually. Rachel, I'm sorry, I had no choice. We thought you were dead. I was. And we need to see my murder. The next time he tries, I might not be able to come back. Actually, you will. You can die. I once cut a person in half, and the next day was just walking around. We hope you have enjoyed playing the Mask of the Rose demo. I love it! I love it! I'm super happy! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the beautiful game Mask of the Rose. We can expect much from this game, a lot more. I will try to read the best I can. I need to practice a little, it seems. I'm a little rusted for some reason. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have for today. I have been the Lost Chevalier, signing out. Bye bye!